Welcome to Smash Writing. I'm Paul. This is Justin. And today we're back with another Christmas themed movie. This time starring Justin Long. And it's called It's a Wonderful Knife.
You said knife. You ruined it. You ruined the moment.
Oh, yeah. Without further ado, go ahead, Justin, and read this interesting plot.
This movie kickstarts with an ad for Henry Waters. And Watercore, he's advertising for Watercore and making Angel Falls a better place. Now, everyone, the town gathers around to light up the Christmas tree, and we meet the Carruthers family. And Henry comes up, he's going to abduct David, the father, because they work together. And they really need Evan's house to sell. It's the last house standing away of his dream of having this big city square block kind of deal.
Right.
And the family doesn't like him. They don't like the fact that he's leaving, but David leaves with him. And
You got a microwave.
yeah, you got a microwave. You know, microwaves heat up food. She heats up all our food in the microwave. But with that, we see the problem is Evans is not selling at all. He's like, not only does he tell me he's not selling, he's like, you know, Henry, the biggest mistake was your dead dad didn't leave the business to David. He left it to you instead of David.
Meanwhile, David's not even his son.
David's just like sitting there.
Like, oh, snap.
But and Evans is like, well, my plan is I'm going to die in this house. My granddaughter will take it. You'll never have it. And Henry issues like this ominous warning to Cara, the granddaughter, as she's leaving to go to a party. And we meet up with the Carruthers family. This is where I see Catherine Isabella's in this movie. 10 out of 10 S tier movie right now.
Oh, right
now. The books we're done.
And you have Justin Long.
Yeah, but the moment I saw Catherine Isabella, I'm like, so done. S tier movie.
It took me a minute because, like, you know, I still remember her, obviously, from Ginger Snaps.
Yeah.
Freddy vs. Jason. Like, I remember the younger
Yeah.
her. So I was looking at it, it's like, is that who I think it is? It is.
But anyway, Cara picks up her daughter Winnie. They're going out to a Christmas party. And the grandpa is killed. And the killer tracks down Cara, takes out Eddie, the boyfriend. Cara puts up a bigger fight, but she decides to run through a window instead of a door. So she goes down. But then the killer goes after Winnie next, too. And it starts a big fight. Her and Jimmy and her boyfriend manage to fend off the killer. And
The angel.
She kills the angel killer with like these spark plugs that are attached to all the car lights or all the Christmas lights. And she removes the masks and it's Henry under the mask. We jump ahead a year to another ad. David has taken over the company, him and his son Jimmy, and they are rolling in the dough. Except Winnie is distraught still. She's still suffering the effects of the past year. And then she's been...
Just get over it.
She's rejected from NYU, which is not great. Her family is 100% oblivious to this.
They buy Jimmy... They give her a sweatshirt or whatever?
Oh, we'll get to that.
Okay.
But she goes out on the town. She's confronted by Henry's brother, Buck. Okay. This is what I need these movies to start doing. I need one movie, because I'm tired of seeing this. I've seen this constantly anymore. Where, like, you get, especially with a guy, you go, like, right in the face of the woman, start yelling. What I need one of you fucking movies to do is show her headbutting him. Why do none of these movies have that? Like, one of you has to go, oh, well, fuck you, boom.
Like, you know he tried to kill me. Bam! Like, it wasn't like I was fighting him to kill him.
That night, though, all the families together, they're exchanging Christmas gifts. Now, the Aunt Gail is the only one who seems to be paying attention here. Because the dad gives her a workout suit. This pink workout attire. And the girl's like, oh, that was a mistake. Why would you do this? But then, because they force her to go put it on. And while they're doing that, she goes downstairs, and everyone's outside except for Gail. And Gail's like, oh, they're outside looking at Jimmy's new truck. So this is what pushes Winnie over the edge here. And especially when the dad's like, as the mom, he's like, well, we got you what you both needed. That's where she blows up. She's like, last year I killed a guy who's Dad's best friend. And no one talks about it. Everyone is acting like it never happened. And they're like, God, can't you just, get over it?
Yeah, because getting chased by a psychopath in an angel suit on Christmas is just normal.
But she goes back in the house and turns her phone back on and finds a bunch of missed text messages from the boyfriend. So she goes to the party, and she's trying to find Robbie, and she runs into Bernie, who everyone calls the weirdo.
Yes.
And Bernie tries to, deflect her away from where the boyfriend really is. Because she's trying to look out for her. But then she ends up finding the boyfriend and her friend Darla are getting together in the laundry room. And it turns out they've been getting together for a year. It's about the time of the murder.
Loyalty.
So she's really dejected. She marches down to the dock. And she's staring up at the Aurora Borealis overhead and wishes that she'd never been born. And the Aurora granted her wish. She was never born. And she stumbles on 2 murders and the angel killer's back. Because she didn't kill Henry.
She never existed.
And she runs into Buck as she's fleeing, and Buck is the police chief. And yelling at me all the time.
That's a vibration.
But anyway, we find out that the angel killer is up to 27. Buck took the position as sheriff because the sheriff was the 6th person killed or the 3rd person killed or something.
Yep.
And Henry is very much alive and ready to support and help her find this killer, whoever you are, because no one recognizes her because she's never been born. Which becomes a problem when she goes back to the house and her family doesn't recognize her.
But they're okay with her just walking in the house.
Well, to be fair, they did probably just left the door unlocked because mom's a drunk.
No, I get that. I'm just saying, it was just oh, there's a stranger in the house. Cool. Okay.
Well, they do throw her out whenever she starts screaming for Jimmy and doesn't realize that Jimmy was killed the night along with everyone else.
Right.
So she goes running through town, and this is now Drug Haven City.
I know. I'm she really stopped. Not only did she save everybody's life, but she stopped the ones that were alive from becoming cocaine and meth heads.
Yeah, she saved the town by killing Henry. Because without her, Henry was able to kill the Evans and buy out the town pretty much. And now he's mayor of the town. And it's gone downhill.
Clearly. I'm just every time they turn around, they're lighting up a pipe. I'm what the hell?
And that's at the Christmas party, because she goes to try to find her boyfriend. And she finds her boyfriend and Darla together. They've been dating for 3 years. She finds out in a little bit that they're truly madly in love. And her and the boyfriend were a wrong couple to begin with.
Right.
Which is an interesting direction to go. But we're going to go through it anyway. But there's one person who will talk to her. Bernie.
The weirdo.
Bernie doesn't know her, but she's talking to her, so Bernie appreciates the human contact here.
The bare minimum.
But while this is all going on, she dips out of the house for a few minutes. But while that's happening, the angel killer arrives and kills one of the partygoers. Which is important. Because when she goes back inside, she sees the report going on about the murder that happened down at the docks. And she stands up for Bernie. And this is a huge thing for Bernie. Never happened before. So she's more than willing to be dragged out of this house. And she's like, we are going to find out who the killer is together. Okay. So they go back to Bernie's house. And Bernie's actually been working on her own little case on who this can be.
Yeah.
We find out Dad ran out of town after catching Mom cheating. And Mom is never home. Now Bernie gets word that someone was killed at the party. So despite the fact that, Winnie made a compelling case that the killer is Henry, she starts to suspect Winnie. So she's about to fight her off with a pair of scissors when the real killer attacks, and they just barely manage to escape. And they hide out at a movie theater, and they have a bit of a moment together. But Winnie crashes and falls asleep, and Bernie works on this case. And she's come up with enough evidence to show that the Aurora is sometimes an evil spirit. And it must have been Henry that sent her back, or gave her her wish. And the only way to fix this is to kill the killer again. Oh, but they're running out of time. The lights are fading. So they only have a day or two. So they decide the only way they're going to be able to get close enough to Henry is through her dad. So they have to convince her dad that of what she's saying.
Right.
But she does successfully convince Gail too. So Aunt Gail's on board. Dad is not on board. He's not listening. Even flips out and throws her out. But before she leaves the house, the Christmas killer has arrived, kills the mom and the side piece, and they just barely manage to get away from him and knock him down the stairs. And that's when she takes the mask off again because she has to kill him, and it's the dad in the mask.
Dun dun dun!
They manage to flee again, get away, and they come up to the conclusion that because Dad was so defeated of the death of Jimmy, he became an accomplice.
Yep.
And a murderer now for Henry. He just works for Henry. So now they decided that they have to kill him.
Gotta kill both of them.
Which happens after a brief fight. Andy takes out Aunt Gail. Fuck you, movie. How dare you do that to Catherine Isabella?
She made it to the end almost.
But they do manage to kill him, but she's still there. Her wish has not been granted to go back. Because that's not who you're supposed to kill. You know, fucker, you're supposed to kill Henry. But they march up to where he's speaking at this thing. And he's got so much power over this town, everyone's like mesmerized. I don't know where the fuck that came from. But he kills Buck on the stage in front of everyone because Buck was trying to transfer out. And we find out that Henry left because of... not Henry. Bernie's dad left because Mother was cheating on him with Henry. So Henry destroyed her life too. And they get to fighting each with him, and just before anything had happened, Barney stabs him in the stomach, killing the killer herself. And they have a moment where they're like, well, maybe I was sent back to help you, and maybe this wasn't like you helping me situation. And it was Back to the Future we got. Not really future, but parallel universe.
Parallel, that's what they kind of labeled it.
Where
And
the family apologizes for being douches to her. And before she settles in with them, though, she remembers, oh shit, I gotta go talk to Bernie. Because it's very important to go talk to Bernie, because Bernie was talking to her before the Henry kill, that this was her last Christmas kind of deal. She was ending it all at the end.
And it made you nervous because they developed a relationship where if Bernie memory got erased, but it crossed over as well.
Yeah, that crossed over, because she rushes to Bernie to stop her from killing herself, but she didn't have to worry. Bernie remembers it all. And that's how the movie ends.
Alright, pros and cons.
I really love the relationship they developed between Bernie and Winnie. I thought it really was an organic relationship that they developed together.
Yeah.
I loved the costume of the Angel Killer.
That's a big pro for me, was the costume of the killer, how unique it was with the faceless white mask.
It glistened and showed reflections in it. And I love the all-white. Because it really showed the blood.
Christmas spirit, baby.
Yeah, really showed the blood on the angel costume. At first, because of how the family was acting, I figured, Henry had an accomplice, didn't he? Dad was involved. And they got me to bite, because I did believe it after the reveal. Like, oh, Dad did help him all along. But no, it was just Dad was so defeated that he became the Christmas killer or the angel killer.
Because he made it clear, since Winnie wasn't born, he had only one child, and that child was killed.
Yeah, and now he just works for Henry because he has nothing else to fucking do.
Yeah.
His wife is screwing everyone else behind his back. Oh, not even behind his back.
Just...
It's in the living room.
Yeah, and she's a drunk, too. So, I mean, it was all of the above. Yeah, I did like the build-up between Winnie and Bernie. The costume. I'm still not the biggest fan of Joel, who plays David. However, his ignorant comedy kind of worked this time.
Yeah.
Because when they get Jimmy's truck, and they're going to that speech, even after Winnie storms off and goes back inside, he still looks at Jimmy and gives him the rest of the engine rundown.
It's a 6.8 cylinder.
But it's you want to talk about the comparisons of how ignorant that is. You buy your son a big-ass pickup truck and your daughter a swimsuit.
Jane Widdop and...
Another thing I want to talk about is Justin's Long.
He was so much fun. He was fun. He is charismatic as Henry.
But to be honest with you, as much as I do I didn't like his voiceover with it.
Well, I liked it that real high, obnoxious, like, I'm your best friend. Go
Well, no,
fuck yourself.
but like he did that in that weird accent that was just not clicking for me. His dialogue was fine.
Jane Widdop and Jess McLeod, who played Bernie and Winnie. I thought Jess McLeod killed it as Bernie. All right, back to Justin.
Yeah. So in his every time Justin's in a horror movie, he's either something bad or he gets killed. Who would have thought he did both in this film?
He's very much starting to lean more and more into villainhood,
Yeah.
and I really enjoy it.
Oh, absolutely.
He's really good.
Like he
villain.
started off being a victim. Now he's like, well,
Fuck you all! You didn't save me from the creeper.
that mofo took my eyeballs out and used my body as like a statue. So final grade.
Well, there was a couple instances where it's like the deaths were fun. I thought the deaths were really cool. They were Christmas themed deaths that really worked, as opposed to some of the other ones that came in this movie that did not fucking work at all.
Right.
I really hate. Stop, please stop with the flashing lights being your source of lighting. Like when she was in the movie theater with the camera and she's clicking the camera flash.
That's horrible.
You know what all you're doing is blinding your fucking audience. Because they're in dark, then bright light, and then back to dark. Bright light, dark, bright light. It's not like a flickering strobe effect where your eyes are adjusted still. They go to dark, and then they flash back the light. So all you're doing is blinding your audience.
Yeah, that is true. I generally hate that. Not even about the blind, just because it's stupid at some point. The Christmas spirit with these films.
They've done a whole lot of spin-offs and takes of It's a Wonderful Life. I've seen one, and That 70s Show did it. Married with Children did it. Willing to bet a whole lot of other people did it too. But I feel like this is probably one of the best ones that did it.
It was a fun ride. It was a fun ride, and
I really enjoyed this movie.
You know, giving its little unique name. It's a Wonderful Knife as well. You know, you even go away from it. You know, I know copyright issues couldn't save life, but
Well, no, I'm sure they could have.
yeah, because I think there were several films that are.
Yeah, I mean, I think it just did it as a play on words, because I think that it's probably in public domain at this point.
Yeah, 100 years.
When I was first watching it, I thought it was going to hurt the fact of not having an angel, because you have to have someone there to tell them what's going on.
But the killer being as the angel kind of played off on it, so that was like a good little twist to it.
You at least they referenced the idea that they know of It's a Wonderful Life, because at one point Bernie calls her George and Bernie will be her Clarence. So they know the idea of It's a Wonderful Life.
That is true. And it's not only is it a wonderful life, it's a wonderful knife. Also, his before we give our grade, is Henry's was it his punchline like I'm the
best and fuck the rest.
that was the best. All right. Final grade for this year's holiday season films. Well, for the Wonderful Knife.
Well, we'll see where I put it in the timeline. Hey, do we have an A? I feel comfortable with an A.
I'm going to go with a B minus. It was really like the accent, and like I said, Joel, who plays David, I just don't like him.
No, with actor-wise, I think Jane, Jess, and Catherine Isabella, they're
Everybody wants Aunt Gail now.
everyone should strive for it to be Aunt Gail. Are you kidding? Aunt Gail was amazing. She was there every moment.
Dedication. Until next time, we're gonna be. Until next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.